howdy, hey, welcome back to All About That Disney Life. I am Danny B, the girl who is all about that Disney life. The next movie we'll be talking about is Cinderella, which is my mom's favorite movie, which came out in 1950. We all know the story of Cinderella. She is a beloved character, a beloved princess. We all love her story, and let's get to know the cast who helped to make this movie possible. We had Eileen Woods as the voice of Cinderella. Helen Stanley was the live-action model for Cinderella. Eleanor Audley was Lady Tremaine. Verna Felton was the fairy godmother, and Claire Dubry was the live-action model for the fairy godmother. We had Rhoda Williams as Drizella, Lucille Bliss as Anastasia, James McDonald as Jacques, Gus, and Bruno. Louis Van Ruten was the king and the Grand Duke. Don Barclay was the doorman. William Edward Phipps was Prince Charming. Mike Douglas was Prince Charming's singing voice. June Foray was Lucifer, and Betty Lou Gearson was the narrator of Cinderella. Now we get down to the facts all about Cinderella. Number 1, Cinderella saved Disney Studios, no joke. This movie literally saved Walt Disney's behind when it came to saving the studios financially. During World War II, because of all of Disney's previous flops that he produced during the war, we had Pinocchio, Bambi, Fantasia. They were all box office flops, as I have talked about in my last videos about those movies. He was $4 million in debt, and he was this close to declaring bankruptcy. Also, a few of his animators were recruited during World War II, so he lost a bit of his staff during that time. Disney took a chance on Cinderella, knowing that if this movie fails, he would have no choice but to shut down the studios, and that would have been the end for Disney. And the budget for Cinderella was $3 million, and luckily, Cinderella was a big box office success in 1950, and Cinderella saved Disney Studios, and thank God for Cinderella. Number 2, Cinderella is based on a story. It is based on the story by Charles Perrault's fairy tale, which was produced in 1697, believe it or not. In 1922, Disney produced a Laugh-O-Gram cartoon based on Cinderella. And he wanted to do another version in December 1933 as a silly symphony version of Cinderella. But it was in September of 1943, Disney had writers start working on the full-length film with a budget of initially $1 million to begin with. Number 3, Eileen Woods didn't know. Didn't know what? Well, she didn't know she was auditioning for the role of Cinderella. Here's what happened. Around 380 girls auditioned for this role of Cinderella. Mark David and Jerry Livingston, those were the writers for the music and the lyrics, they asked Eileen to record demo songs from the movie. The demo was then showed to Disney, and he loved her voice right away, and he gave her the part. Sadly, as Eileen grew older, she suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and she forgot that she even voiced Cinderella. But whenever a nurse put on A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes, she enjoyed hearing that song. So at least there's a bit of a happy side to that story. Number 4, Cinderella introduces voice dubs. After Eileen recorded the song Sing Sweet Nightingale, Disney got a really bright idea, and he asked Eileen if she could sing harmony with herself, and that technique, it's called overdubbing. It's when an artist records one track and then they record another track while listening to the original first track. Number 5, Lucifer's inspiration. Animator Ward Kimball had a hard time finding a design for Lucifer. Disney then went over to Kimball's house, and he saw his cat named Feetsy because Feetsy had 6 toes on one paw. Disney then said to Kimball, you should base Lucifer off of your own cat. So there's the inspiration for Lucifer. Number 6, live action filming. In the spring of 1948, the live actors were filmed on large sound stages, mouthing to playbacks of the audio script and the songs. The footage was edited frame by frame onto large photostat sheets to copy for the animators to draw. Helen Stanley was Cinderella's live action model, but she was also the live action model for future films like Princess Aurora and Sleeping Beauty and Anita Radcliffe in 101 Dalmatians. The animators drew Prince Charming after the actor Jeffrey Stone. Claire Debris was the live-action model for the fairy godmother, and her design was based on the wife of layout artist Ken O'Connor. Number 7, the release of Cinderella. Cinderella was released into theaters on February 15th, 1950 in Boston, Massachusetts. Cinderella was also screened at the inaugural edition of the Berlin International Film Festival in June of 1951. Number 8, a financial comeback, and I do mean a comeback. Cinderella earned $4.28 million in distributor rentals from the United States and Canada. Cinderella was the 5th highest grossing film released in North America in 1950. Cinderella was the 5th most popular movie at the British box office in 1951. And Cinderella was the 16th biggest film of all time in France with admissions of 13.2 million tickets sold. Also, there were profits from record sales, music publishings, publications, and other merchandise. The money from Cinderella helped Disney finance more films, establish his own distribution company, enter television production, and begin building Disneyland and also start planning for Walt Disney World. Cinderella has a lifetime domestic gross of $93 million. Cinderella has a lifetime worldwide gross of $182 million. Basically, in total, Cinderella has a lifetime gross of $565 million. Thank you, Cinderella. Number 9, some Bibbidi Bobbidi awards. See the play on word for the song? Anyways, moving on. So Cinderella won and was nominated for a bunch of awards, so be patient with me as I try to go down this list the best that I can. Cinderella was up for an Academy Award for Best Scoring of a Musical Picture, but it lost to Annie Get Your Gun. That is a good movie and a musical, by the way. Cinderella was also up for an Academy Award for Best Original Song, but it lost to Mona Lisa from Captain Carvey USA. Cinderella was also up for an Academy Award for Best Sound Recording, but it lost to All About Eve. Cinderella did, however, win a Golden Bear at the Berlin International Film Festival, and Cinderella won a large bronze plate. Cinderella was also up for a Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, but it lost to Destination Moon. Cinderella has been inducted at the National Film Preservation Board, and Cinderella has also been inducted at the Online Film and Television Association's Awards. Cinderella was also up for Outstanding Youth DVD at the Satellite Awards, but it lost to Toy Story 2. Cinderella was also nominated for a Golden Lion at the Venice International Film Festival, but it lost to Justice est fait. I hope I said that right. But Cinderella did win a special jury prize, and Cinderella also won a Young Artist Award for a former Child's Life Achievement Award, and that was Lucille Bliss, who was the voice of Anastasia. Number 10, where can we find the Cinderella characters? They are at every single Disney park, and I do mean every single Disney park. But if you be patient with me, I'm going to go down my list of where they are at each Disney park. So at Disneyland, California, Cinderella can be seen in Fantasyland near Sleeping Beauty's castle, or at Disney's Princess Fantasy Fair for meet and greets. Cinderella appears daily in Walt Disney's Parade of Dreams, Disney's Electrical Parade, Fantasmic, and the Christmas Fantasy Parade during the Christmas holidays. Prince Charming is seen at Fantasmic as well. Jacques and Gus have a representation of themselves in the It's a Small World ride, and Drizella is seen around the park during Halloween. So at Walt Disney World, this list is a little bit longer because at Walt Disney World, we have Cinderella's castle, so there's going to be a lot of representation at Walt Disney World, and it's a lot to go through, so let's get down to this list. So Cinderella has a special spell card called the Cinderella's Magic Ribbon at the attraction Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. Cinderella can be seen daily at Main Street Town Square at the Exposition Hall. Cinderella was also seen at the former castle show Dream Along with Mickey. And she is also seen at Disney World's Very Merry Christmas Parade. There is also a restaurant in Cinderella's castle called Cinderella's Royal Table, where you can have a chance to see and speak to Cinderella along with other Disney princesses, Snow White, Aurora, Belle, and Ariel. At Epcot, at the Asherkus Dining Hall, there is a chance that you can see her. And there is also a topiary at Epcot of Cinderella and Prince Charming during the Garden and Flower Festival. At Hollywood Studios, there is a chance that you could see her at Mickey's Sorcerer Hat, and she is also a part of the show Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios. At Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, she appears daily at 1900 Park Fair along with Prince Charming and Lady Tremaine. Lady Tremaine is in the show Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular at Magic Kingdom, that is there during the Halloween season. And she's mostly seen during the Halloween season around Magic Kingdom. And she is in the parade, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Parade and Party Boo to You Parade, basically. Prince Charming has his own ride at Magic Kingdom, the Prince Charming Regal Carousel. And believe me, when I go to Magic Kingdom on my first day, I have to ride that carousel because it's just so nostalgic and it just gets you in that Disney mood. Prince Charming was also part of the former castle show Dream Along with Mickey, and he makes daily appearances at the Festival of Fantasy Parade. Anastasia can be seen for meet and greets around Magic Kingdom, but she is mostly seen during the Halloween season, and she is in the Main Street Electrical Parade. Anastasia can also be seen at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Jacques and Gus were in the Main Street Electrical Parade. I'm not sure if they're back now that the parade has been rumored to come back. I'm not sure. Jacques and Gus are also part of the Festival of Fantasy Parade. And there is a chance that you can see Jacques and Gus at Cinderella's Royal Table restaurant. There is a statue of Lucifer that is attached to Cinderella's Wishing Well statue at Magic Kingdom. You can also catch Drizella at Magic Kingdom for meet and greets as well. And you can also find Drizella at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. But again, Drizella is mostly seen during the Halloween season for the Halloween party, and she's also in Main Street Electrical Parade and the Christmas Fantasy Parade. During the former live celebration of Christmas season in the Magic Kingdom Park, the fairy godmother appeared as the mistress of ceremonies. She also has her own spell card called the Fairy Godmother's Pumpkin Bash at the attraction Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. At Hollywood Studios, Fairy Godmother is seen in the show Fantasmic. She also once hosted the Fireworks Spectacular Magic, Music, and Mayhem during the Princess and Pirate Party. Next park, Disneyland Paris. Cinderella appears daily on the Princess Float during the Once Upon a Dream Parade along with Prince Charming. Anastasia can sometimes be seen in Disneyland Paris' Fantasyland for meet and greets along with Drizella. Jacques and Gus also make a live appearance at the Dream of Fantasy event. In Mickey's Magical Celebration, Fairy Godmother was one of Mickey's mentors. Also in Mickey and the Magician, Fairy Godmother was the first one to help Mickey out into becoming a magician. Next up, Tokyo Disney Resort. Cinderella starred in her own sequence in Tokyo Disney Sea version of Fantasmic. Cinderella also used to star in the nighttime spectacular Cinderella's Royal Coronation. Cinderella is also part of the nighttime spectacular Once Upon a Time. There is a picture of Lady Tremaine at the attraction Cinderella's Castle Mystery Tour. Prince Charming appears during Cinderella's sequence in Tokyo Disney Sea version of Fantasmic. He's also seen with Cinderella in One Man's Dream 2, The Magic Lives On. Prince Charming also appears in the nighttime spectacular Once Upon a Time, dancing with Cinderella during her segment. Jacques and Gus appear during Cinderella's segment in Once Upon a Time. Lucifer's likeness as at the attraction Cinderella's Fairy Tale Hall. Lucifer is also seen in the picture with Lady Tremaine at Cinderella's Castle Mystery Tour attraction. And Fairy Godmother appears during the Cinderella segment in Once Upon a Time. Next up, Shanghai Disneyland. At the Enchanted Storybook Castle, there is a wall carving of Cinderella. And Cinderella appears during the final montage of Ignite the Dream, a nighttime spectacular of magic and light. And Jacques and Gus are featured on Cinderella's carving at the Enchanted Storybook Castle. Next up, Hong Kong Disneyland. Lady Tremaine can be seen walking down a staircase during the final scene of the Nightmare Experiment. Also, she has made an appearance during the final montage of Villain's Night Out. The next and last place we can see the Cinderella characters are the Disney Cruise Line. Cinderella can be seen in the shows The Golden Mickeys, Believe, Dreams, and Twice Charmed. Lady Tremaine is also seen in Twice Charmed. The show is about Lady Tremaine getting her own fairy godmother, and she uses his magic to reverse time and try to take over the king's kingdom. Anastasia and Drizella are also a part of the show Twice Charmed, along with Jacques and Gus. And Lucifer makes an appearance in the show Twice Charmed during the song Chasing a Dream, where Lady Tremaine is holding him. In the show Believe, the fairy godmother is one of the magic makers who help Dr. Greenway believe in dreams and miracles, and she is assisted by Cinderella, Prince Charming, Aladdin, and Jasmine. And that is all the facts about Cinderella. There was a lot, but it was worth it knowing that this movie had such an impact on Disney history, and everything that we love about Disney. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you have a zippity-doo-dah day. Goodbye.